Hello everyone, and today I'm going to be showing off some of the new cool stuff that we've been working on. I know that we've been spending some time on the back end, creating some things, updating some services, and today I'm going to show you all the stuff we've done to kind of get it to where we are today. We've got some new plugins. We created some ways that you can now have multiplayer. We've got email settings. We got all kinds of cool stuff to show off. So I'm just going to jump right in. First thing I'm going to do is this is a test website that I have. So I'm going to use this one to kind of get around. Once you log onto the site, I have, of course, on your site, you can go to the admin section. And the last update, what I did was I included some of the 3D plugins that you can have for your site. I included them by default, so you'll get these in there. All you have to do is click the button to activate them, and you can turn on the various ones. First of all, we have avatars. You've had that for a little while. Avatars is a set of 10 avatars that integrate into your site so that you can use them, walk around, do whatever. But it also includes an avatar designer, so you can color them. And we've done a little bit. I've done a little bit of work on that to go ahead and clean up the process so that you can streamline getting started when you first create it. We were doing this thing where you'd go in there and you'd do this customization and all this other stuff right from the start. Well, the problem is we needed a quick start method. So now you can pick which one you want, and then down in the bottom menu you can go ahead and change your avatars and make some changes. Let's see here, let me just show you. If we click this local profile, you can now go select your avatar or edit your avatar and go in and change the colors and animations and everything else that it uses. So that's where you customize your avatar. The other thing is when we go into the plugins, we have a shopping 3D website, the shopping plugin. We have a 3D internet plugin, and we have a Swift Mailer plugin. Okay, so Swift Mailer does use the open source Swift Mailer, and we give them as much credit as we can every place that you see it. So thank you for creating that plugin for us. We wrapped the plugin, or we wrapped their code into a plugin to make it work with WalkTheWeb by giving it a screen where you can set your settings. Otherwise, it is using, with no changes, the actual send mail options and everything else that it provides. Okay, with that said, we're going to kind of go backwards up the list here. For settings, under settings, it added two new ones. We've added server settings and email settings. Now, I'm not going to pop up my server settings because I don't really want to share everything that I've got on there. So I did a snapshot and kind of grayed out a couple of the paths that, it's a security thing. So on here, notice, it will tell you your server instance ID, so you'll have that. Your database connection information. Hello there. And it goes around through. You can set your admin email now. So instead of editing the config file directly, there's a number of things you can do right from this page. Makes it easy to update your admin email address and who the email is sent from whenever it comes out. Default domain is always the domain of your site. By default, you can change the default domain so that when somebody just comes to your site and everything else, that's the default site. That's, kind of like the default sending from email address, kind of having that stuff. But it does give you a default domain, the name of the default site that you want to pop up. Okay, and those things are, they're flexible. They can be set from each community also. Why do you type in talk? Habit. Now, some people watch the video without the sound, and so the typing kind of adds some extra stuff. It just depends what they're doing. But also, there's times where I'm talking about someone here, and I want to be able to say hi or acknowledge you over there. And it's good to see you, Abdul. How you doing? Okay, we also have your content paths that you can update. Also, we've added folder permissions. So now, folder and file permissions, you have that available, so you can set what you want them to be. And I'm working on adding some FTP host stuff, so you do have that now. That will make it where if you're on a host that doesn't allow fopen and it doesn't allow curl commands, then FTP can still access the site and upload files. So we already have the two other ones in place, and we'll be adding that shortly. I just wanted to add it to the form while I was working on it. Okay, the next one is the email settings. So, whoops, let's go to the email settings. Well, I'm just jumping all over the place here. Let's click the right button. And the email settings, in the same way, we have the email server name, but now notice you can set the port and you can also set different encryption. So we have that all in place. Your SMTP username for sending emails and your password. You can set the from email and the from name. And then you can even do a test email to make sure it works. Now this last part right here is user email validation enabled. There's two pieces that use this. Hey Siddhart, how's it going? And basically this last part here, user email validation enabled. What that does is it turns on some email validation and functionality for the logins. So like when somebody creates a new account on your server, you can have that turned on. It'll automatically email back to them and basically it emails back to them for a confirmation. They click a link and then it confirms their email address is real and valid and using. The other one that it turns on is for if you have a password recovery. So if you come in here to a website and you go to log in, let me see which other one I got here. Yeah, so you go to log in and you're like, okay, I want to log in as this, but I forgot my password. Then you can click on that, you can type this, and you can say reset my password, and it'll send you a link to reset the big board, huh? I hope that's not since you've been watching my thing here. But yeah, so that's a quick way to recover your password, and that works for global logins and local logins, as long as you set those different settings. So if you set that, turn that on right. If you set up a server, test to make sure it works, and then turn on that setting, all that extra functionality will work on your site. Just bored in general? Well, start coding, dude. You got it in your name, coder. Let's start coding. We can do some WalkTheWeb stuff, dude. Okay, so now, so that takes care of those settings. Web alias has always been here, so we can actually create different ones and map out different sites to different things. You can have it go to a building in a community. You can have it go to, whatever you need it to. You can say, I'm adding another domain name. So if you have another domain name, all you do is point it at your server and then type in the new domain name and tell it which community you want it to open. And then it'll add it to the list here, and you've mapped that domain name. So don't know how to code, and I don't have anything to code on. Oh, dude. Yeah. Okay. Well, we'll get you going. We got to get you going. It only takes Notepad++, which is a free app. You can get that. You can start coding. JavaScript works locally, so you can learn how to code JavaScript and HTML and CSS. There's all kinds of cool stuff and places that you can get started, but definitely learn to code, dude. It's in your name. But yeah, so those are the web aliases. That's all good. Now, going on to the other plugins, one of them in particular is the 3D Internet. So we have a, get on my PC if you want. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah, right. I got you. Okay, so this part here, when you do the 3D Internet, there's a couple different sections here. The first one is Login Avatar Settings. Now, if you turn on Global, Local, and Anonymous, then what you're going to see is when I go here and I tell it I want to log on to a website, this particular one has the Global, which is WalkTheWeb login, and it has the guest turned on, and it has the local turned off. So what's the difference between local and global? Well, when you first create your website, your server, and you set it up, that creates a local account on its own server. Has nothing to do with the global system, not 3D Internet. It's not going out anywhere from except on your own machine for your account. When you turn on the global, what happens is it automatically adds your account to the global network, and then you can start using it. It does not do it the way I just said. Let me rephrase that. You can create a global account. No, I'm not taking your passwords. I'm not taking your local accounts, nothing. I do not touch anything that's local. Local stays local. Let me rephrase that. Global account, when you create an account that's global, it means when you go from one server to another that does WalkTheWeb and has the global turned on, which is this switch right here, then you can choose to log on using that same account, and it'll automatically find your same avatars. So if you've already set up a custom avatar and it's on a global account, you can now go to another server, and when you log on right here, so if I come in here and I say log on, notice the first thing I get is there's my global avatar I've created, 2 different ones that I've created. If you have more, it'll show you each one that you've created. So yeah, so I think I'd be better making models instead of coding. Oh, okay, yeah, Blender, definitely. Dude, we got a lot to talk about. If you like to do stuff like that, oh, dude, catch me on Discord because we're creating all kinds of cool stuff. We're creating new stores, we're creating some games, we're creating all kinds of cool stuff. And if you like to create 3D models and do things in Blender, we got all kinds of cool stuff coming. So definitely, they work already. You can do some stuff. At least I know how to make models. That's cool. Definitely. Oh, that's awesome. Okay, so I can select my avatar that's on my global thing, and even though it's not set up on this particular server, it will load my avatar. It takes a second to get here and everything else. We're working on that, by the way. The original avatars that we had a lot more stuff on them than we actually use. So we're going to work on streamlining them and see if we can't make them run faster and everything. But notice, opposed to the default one, he's already wearing this color shirt and everything. That is because I'm using my global avatar, same one I used over here. So as easy as turning on that switch, you can allow your users to use the global avatars and they can still work. Now, if you want to log back on as your local account, you'll have to have that switch on. If that's off, you can easily set it from the database. You'll have to turn it on from there. When you create a global account and it's the same email address as your local account, it will tie the 2 accounts together, and it'll when you log in with the global account, you'll have some type of access for your email account coming in. But that only works with confirmed accounts. So if your email address has been confirmed and it's the same person, then you will have some type of access to be able to link the accounts once you do that. Okay, next is anonymous. You can choose to have anonymous on or off, and that just allows people to either require the login, or if you need to, allow people to just click on a quick link, get a couple different avatars as defaults, click on one of them, and just jump into a scene. So that allows people to not have to log in. Next to that, we have multiplayer and chat enabled. Now, this uses our service as a multiplayer, which means that we're giving you the global avatars and the global avatars and global logins for free. But if you'd like to use our multiplayer server on your server so that you can have multiplayer in all of your scenes and everything else, then basically all you have to do is, instead of expand, you're going to see one that says activate. You click the link, and as easy as deciding which plan you'd like to go with. Like here, I've got one especially for developers where it's up to 20 simultaneous multiplayers in a scene, $20 per month, so it's $120 per year. All you do is select the one you want and then click Next View Cart. You can purchase that. Notice there's also, you can also change selection there. Notice there's also additional services where, hey, I just want more users. You can add another 50 for $18 a month. That's a discount over the $20 a month normal $50 plan. So you pick a plan, you can add more users anytime you need so that we can support whatever you need. If you're going to get a whole bunch of users, and you have a whole big community and everything else, then just contact us. We'll work out a deal. We'll give you a good deal price for a whole lot more, and we'll work it out for you. And then just click next to view your cart. You see your cart, everything looks good. You can change your quantity if necessary, and you can click checkout, and it automatically take you to PayPal, boom, and it activates automatically. So that's enough said. It'll automatically update this, and it'll update back here, showing you the expire date and how many users your plan supports. And that's server-wide. So when you activate for server, you can have 5 people on this site and 3 on this site. That's 8 people being tracked. Even if you have 1 person on a site, you are being tracked in case the second person comes in. They know where you already are. So that's even one person on the site does count as a user using a site. So just to let you know, that's kind of how it counts. Okay, and then chat enabled. Chat comes automatically with multiplayer at this time. We're giving it away. You can have it. It's a basic chat. It works. And you're good to go. You can turn it off as an admin. So if you decide I don't want to use that chat, you click the button. The chat won't be there. So and it won't be activated, so nobody can use it. So just to let you know, there is controls over that. The next part, we're working on this section here, and so far I've created the avatars. This shows you what avatars you have currently loaded into your system, and by turning on the plugin, that shows up. So you'll see that you have these avatars available for users. We'll add some more in here. This is the base getting started type piece for it. So you don't have to really worry about what's here right now, but it's more important that we do have this, and we also are setting up groups. Notice that anonymous, these two are used for anonymous right now, and default, and we basically have your default avatars that you can use on sites. We've created this section for groups, which we're working on, so you're going to see some more stuff on here. Is there anything simple I need? Yes, I'm doing a city street plan, just to let you know. I'm doing a city street. I'll show it off here in a couple minutes, and anything that you think should be added to a city street to make it look more real. So if you want to create some newspaper stands, or if you want to create a bus stop, or if you want to create anything that goes along the street that would, help make the streets look real, then definitely that kind of stuff is really cool. So that stuff would be really helpful right now. Okay, so these groups, here's the concept of where we're heading for this. We're going to let you upload as a server holding a hot dog stand. Perfect. That's perfect. That'd be really cool. I can even add an avatar that's animated sitting there working the cart. So that's very cool. Okay, so avatars. What's happening is we're going to allow you to be able to update and upload and add your own avatars at a server level first, and then eventually allow it at the user level, so we can head towards that, Ready Player One type gaming where anybody can have their own personal avatars and work in the scenes and stuff. Now, by doing groups, what's going to happen is, let's say I build a scene that's all in space. Well, the last thing I want is somebody just walking around randomly looking like a businessman. Okay, so I can create a group of avatars that are space people. And does it need wheels? You can do it. Hey, look up hot dog stand, do what you want. It doesn't have to have wheels. You can do anything you need on that. Very cool, though. Very cool. Okay, so by creating these groups, you can create one called space avatars or whatever you want to call it. And we're going to set it up so that when you create a scene, you're going to be able to select which avatar groups are allowed. So you can say, I'm going to allow anonymous, I'm going to allow default, I'm going to allow space, I'm going to allow zombies, I'm going to allow superheroes, I'm going to allow, and you can turn off around which groups you want to allow into that scene. So medieval, for example, you'd be able to have a whole set of medieval avatars, and when somebody comes to the scene, if they don't have one that meets those needs, then they'll get prompted for, hey, this one requires somebody in this category, and you'll be able to pick which avatar you want to use for that scene. So that allows us to be kind of funnel people into a certain area of which avatars to choose for whatever site they're on. So cool stuff coming up and coming with that. And the last one I'm going to talk about here before we move on is I can download models and put them, right? Free ones. If they're free models, you can use them and stuff. Remember to try to stick with low poly counts, or, at least try to make sure that they are ready for, gaming technology, because there are some that are really high quality, but they're not quite ready for games, and it'll slow down your scenes. This will load it, but it won't load, it'll load them no matter what they are, but what happens is they'll make your scene pause and lag loading if you use too large ones, or if they have too large graphics and stuff. So, okay, 3D stores. Now, here's the thing with 3D stores. What you do is basically you can enable a WooCommerce store to work from your site and be able to put, be able to put 3D stores on your server. And you do that by allowing the site to broadcast to you, basically, so that they can put a server, create a 3D store on your site. We'll talk more about that when I release the new plugin that I'm working on for WooCommerce, for WordPress with WooCommerce tie-in. I already have one out there called WalkTheWeb on WordPress, and this one's going to update that for all the latest and greatest stuff that we've been working on. So just to let you know, that will be in the works here. I'm currently working on it, and when it's ready, we'll release it. And then this is the counterpart. So on your server, you can have the WalkTheWeb plugin here for 3D stores, and it allows you to grant access to the WooCommerce, so it's kind of like a handshake between the two. WooCommerce uses an API, and it has a key secret combination that works. And then this one gives a secret combination so that it can write things back and forth. So once you've established that handshake connection between the two, then you can totally set up and use your server to create WooCommerce stores and put them right into scenes. So that's up and coming. Just wanted to let you know it's here. When you want to add the store, basically you name the store that you want to show up on the building. If you want to allow the iframes when you're working in a store, it pops up the store shopping cart within the scene instead of a separate tab. The store URL, so you tell it which one you have. The cart tells it where the cart is at. And these are the defaults I'm using is /cart, /product, and also the JSON API for WooCommerce. So those are the paths to the root of those areas, and then you would assign a WooCommerce key and secret from WooCommerce. The plugin does it for you, so you don't actually have to type those, but if you want to manually add one, you can come in here and manually add it. When the WooCommerce plugin does it, it sends over something, and what it does is it prompts you on this scene for accept or deny. If you deny, they're locked out. They can't post anything to your server. If you accept, then they can actually create a site on your server. So we've got a process set up. It's all about permissions. It's all about handshaking. It's all about key codes and secret codes and all this other cool stuff. And encrypted, the whole bit. It's good, secure system. Okay, and that'll allow them to post sites to your server. So what does that actually mean? Let me open a community. And I didn't even create one on here. Okay, let's go have some fun. Let's first go to 3D communities. I'm going to say add new community. And one of the new communities that we've added, we've had this one up here for a little while, is now, notice we have a full-on community that is called City Streets. So if I click on that one, ooh, I'm getting an error. Okay, I didn't update this site. I apologize. I know exactly what that is. I added another field, and I didn't tell it on this server to add the field yet. So I will take care of that. But let me jump over to this server where we already have that installed. I'm going to go ahead and... It's the reason I had both of them open. Okay, so in 3D communities, we're going to select a community. I'm just going to go ahead and open the City Streets. There it is. This is the one that we're working with here. And the first thing I want to show you is that I set up some animations so that the street lights and crossing signals all work. So we actually have a City Streets. This is a figure 8 setup. Notice that you don't see everything in the distance, but as you start walking around in the scene, things that you get closer to will load up, and things that you get farther away will unload. So as you're coming down this way, notice in the distance down there, we have, there it is, and we're loading up another set of streetlights, and there they are. So it's all good stuff. Yeah, food good. Yeah. I speak that language. Now, okay. So what you have here is, notice the street signs. And what will happen is, as this one goes to, we got it on a certain scale, you can actually go in here and change the speed of how they do it. But notice how it blinked, and then now it's a green arrow. And you also have the crosswalk symbols, so you have them from all different angles. And then as you start walking, notice when the light, I'm going to keep it right about there, notice that when the light goes to yellow, the crosswalk all of a sudden starts blinking with a red hand to let you know to stop walking, and then it stops there and it's a red symbol. So, cool stuff, huh? Got all that working in place. And this is a figure 8. So we go from an intersection here. Then you're going to start seeing one on the end of the block down here. And it takes you around the city. So with this in mind, you can completely run across the middle. You don't have to go down the streets. Well, we could talk about free models. There's a couple good ones. There's Turbo Squid. There's free3dmodels.com. There's I can't even think off the top of my head, but there's a number of good ones. So you can always find good 3D models, and there's also, you know, offers for paid ones within those sites. What is it? CG Trader. Cool stuff on that site. I apologize for any of them that I forgot to shout out to. Those are just a couple of them off the top of my head. I build a lot of my own stuff instead of just, you know, just trading things that they have. Like I built this mailbox right here. So this is what I'm talking about. So I was mentioning that we could use some new cool stuff on the streets. This is exactly what I'm talking about. You're coming down this street. We have things like, let's see. I think I have across the street here. There it is. I built a fire hydrant. So we got a fire hydrant there. We have the street lights. We have a mailbox on the middle of the street. If you walk around this way, you'll start seeing things like the mailbox. Anything to go along the street. Hot dog vendor works out really cool. That'd be very cool. And we also have another scene where I've added more to it already. But you can actually download this site. This one completely gives you all kinds of really cool stuff. Let me see if this one shows with some buildings in here. Because I believe this one is the one that... Nope, wrong one. Helps if I get the right site. Okay. Canal, Desert, Community, Paintball. This one. This one. The one I called WalkTheWeb City Streets. No wonder I couldn't find it. A hot dog model. Cool. Cool. Okay, so from here, what I did was this particular one, when it loads up, is actually the whole 3D site. Here comes the lights. The animation will start here in a second. Gotta finish loading. And I'm working on making these avatars load faster because I think they're the slowest thing I've got on the scene. So we'll work on that. But there we go. Now we have that. The lights are on and everything else. And now see, notice we put a bunch of buildings on this particular street. So as you're walking, this is one thing I wanted to show off is basically notice how this building's loading up and we come in here and it is a WooCommerce store. So this is what I was talking about when I said we have 3D stores and list stores. These are WooCommerce stores that we've granted access using different keys, and we can tell it if we want to allow the connection or not from each individual store that's coming through. So if you name them certain things and then bring them across, you can allow or deny the connection. Gives you a little bit idea of how that works. We've had a couple requests here and I can allow or deny. But when you allow it, then it builds that bond between the two different sites, and now they can publish sites to your server. So that's all in the plugins that are coming up. The other part was I mentioned when you click on something, for example, come on. What's going on? Not everything load all the way. Am I blocking something? Now there's no errors. Okay. I think some didn't load right. There it goes. Oh, it moved with the animation but did not pop up in the screen. I have a feeling that I didn't allow them to come up into the screen on this particular one. Okay, well, otherwise it's going to show the... well, that's part of the... Let me just say it this way. That's part of the plugin that hasn't been released yet, so if I was coding something and broke another part of it, then so be it. We'll get back to it. But notice as we're walking around, we have other buildings that show up in the distance. That's the whole part about 3D browsing. So as you walk around, you can come in here and, you know, sometimes every once in a while you got to let it catch up. Remember, it is downloading web pages and it's graphic intensive, so every once in a while you just might have to slow down and let it catch up. Like here, images aren't here yet, but notice we have a avatar working in the store. So she's working and moving around. Come on. Is this store hooked up, or is that one of the ones I was letting it approve? No, that one's not connected. Well, like I said, I probably broke the I probably broke the plugin when I was working on it. So we'll come back and I'll give a full demo when that plugin's released. Until then, we do have some different stores that'll hook up to WooCommerce. We're building more. I've done a little bit more work on this building over here, so soon this building will be available for people to use. As you can see, I come inside and I haven't put a carpet down there yet or anything, or flooring, but you can come upstairs, and I haven't finished the inside of walls here, but we do have some carpeted floors, and well, got some light coming in from some windows. Yeah, I haven't even put the railing around the opening in the hole in the hole in the floor, right? So it's not quite ready for everybody yet, but it's heading there. And this building will be available for you to download after I'm done with it. So that'll be another cool one. Okay, when I'm done, could you show me how to attach all the objects? Yes, sure can. Sure can. Okay, so that's some of the stuff we're working on, some of the different areas. We're building some more scenes. We're cleaning up some graphics of some older buildings. We're adding new buildings. All kinds of cool stuff. Notice it loads as you walk towards it. That's the whole idea of 3D browsing. That way we can load things in the scene that are, well, things that are more than a scene can handle at any one time. So basically they load up, and see, we don't have that loading right. So, okay, no problem. I just wanted to check it one last time. That plugin is coming, but I do have some working street lights. Look at that. Light just turned red. Can't cross, but hey, look, this side you can. Yay. I do have to tell a little story before I move on from that. When I first built that section and I built the street lights, you could tell I'm a NASCAR fan, because as I went around, I went, yes, cool, you can go green, and then I'd cross the street like this. And notice that I'm going counterclockwise. So then I'd walk over here and I'd go, oh, it's red. Oh, it turned green. Okay, I can walk across the street this way. And I tested each one of them all the way around the block. And then I came over here and, doing it and everything else. And I went, that was really cool. Hey, everything's working really good. So I come back over here and I'm like, hey, yeah, everything's working perfect. Well, about 2 weeks later, I look around and I go to cross the street the other way and I'm like, oh, there's no hand signals going this direction. Yeah, NASCAR fan me only tried it in a counterclockwise direction. So just to let you know, yeah. By the way, the 2 fire hydrants, one of them was added by the scene. The other one here, I had put directly into this scene. The other one was actually added by me directly in this scene before I added it to the intersection. So that explains why you're seeing 2 of them. And I can say delete one of them here. That's what's great about editing the scenes. And I saw over on this corner I had done the same thing. So I'll keep one of them in the scene and I'll take out my duplicate. Let's see which one's which. That one, let's see what the numbers are on it. That one is my duplicate. I remember what numbers I put it on. Okay, so then done editing. Now we don't have 2 of them here, and that's perfect. Okay, so just some little things like that. But of course, as you're walking down the street, different things load up and you can go visit different buildings. We can also set how far away that loads by changing their action zones or their load zones and actually deciding how far away we want to see them from each direction and stuff. So there's a lot of cool stuff that we're getting into and drawing in here, but just wanted to show some of the latest. You can now, right now, download this actual scene, and not the scene with the buildings. I'll put that out there later on. This is all sample buildings anyway, so I want you to have one of them available that has the buildings in it. But I'll drop that out there after I finish the shopping plugin, just so you can have a scene with some sample buildings and your own building you can add in it automatically. Okay, so just to let you know, that's what it's doing. We do have a vendor cart here selling 3D glasses. So Abdul Kolder, check this one out. I built this one from scratch. But yep, we actually have WalkTheWeb 3D glasses, and you look inside the cart, then there's actually glasses down inside there. You can click buy now, and for whatever reason that's not opening right now, but like I said, I'm working on the plugin, so I probably disabled something it needs. No big deal, we'll get to that, but cool. I made this one from scratch, did the wood panels and found a nice canvas. Look at how the detail of this canvas covering is and stuff. So that was kind of cool. And of course, I've even put the little wheels on it here. So yeah, you know, dude, instead of just downloading them, you can also start taking some Blender lessons. They've got some really cool Blender tutorials right from the blender.org website. And those items, once you create them, go right into, you can bring them right into here. So definitely it's very cool to be able to create what you want there and then bring them right into the scenes. So, hey Owen, how's it going? Yeah, so very cool. We're building, we're adding things. We're going to make it later on where you can walk up to the machine and start playing a video game. Working on some things like that. It's going to be pretty cool. And, you know, like I said, I got my crosswalks, even though I'm walking against the grain. Here, watch us. Let's see. How's it? Oh, it's turning yellow. It's going to turn green any second now. There it is. There we go. Doing it properly, right? Except I ran halfway across the street without looking. At least I haven't invented cars yet into this scene, right? Once we add cars, it's going to be a lot more dangerous. So, very cool, very cool. Just letting you know, we've got some stuff coming up here that's very cool and some really nice features. You can still come in here and go, okay, I'd like to put a building right here, and you can go as easy as, let's put, I'm trying to kind of center myself a little bit between these two buildings. Let's say right here, I want to say communities, edit this community, and add 3D building into the scene, and I can come in here and pick whatever I want to do. Let's do Webby Store, and then just click add building, and it always starts right in front of you, which you'll have to rotate it or put it wherever you need it to be. But okay, so that one starts that direction. We're going to rotate it here. Notice the animation on the awning, so we even have that all working here. Some pretty cool. And I'm going to kind of turn it to where it's 270 degrees, so it's square with the sidewalk. This particular one, I'm going to go ahead and make the... it's got that front sidewalk on it, so I'm going to... First of all, let's make it on the ground. It'd be better if it's on the ground. I'm going to make it disappear. I purposely did that with this scene because I wanted to be able to hide that. Notice there's a working ceiling fan on the inside too. Let me see. Do I want to make it a little bit higher? Yeah, let's give it a little bit of brickwork going in. I can even move this one a little farther forward. And see, I did that on purpose where I made that front patio really low so that when I want to, I don't have to show it. I can drop it below the cement. So that's just a little bit of something I made it do. And now the awning is directly on the scene, and we're good to go with this building. So it's that easy. You can even move it left or right, wherever you decide. You can move it front and back, get it to right where you want it to sit. I think I'll overlap that just a touch. And see, notice I can come in here and move it this way or this way, whatever I need it to be for the scene. And then save the building. Now we got a new building in here. It's that easy to add buildings once you've created them. And look, we've got working doors. Ignore some of the display things on the walls. I'm redoing those. This building wasn't quite ready, but I wanted to show off how easy it is to do. Notice we have plenty of animation in here. I have my own custom animations on my own custom character. We have ceiling fans. We have a cashier that's over here working. We are going to fix the display cases. Don't worry about those at the moment. And we can come out here and notice we've got the WalkTheWeb Webby store now in between these other buildings. Pretty cool stuff, huh? And just like any other building, if I walk backwards, you're going to see when I get a certain distance away from it, it disappears. Depends on the load zones of when something will show up or not. And we're going to you can go ahead and adjust those load zones also as we go. So you can decide how far you want it to load up. And some take a little longer than others to load. It's already loading. There we go. And some of the animations, like I said, it's like a website. You click on a website to load it. Sometimes it takes longer to download certain pages. It depends on the amount of graphics. It depends on starting animations. It depends on the number of meshes. It depends on the number of faces within the meshes. Every bit of this has to be drawn into the scene, and so some go faster than others. That's the bottom line. Now that building, I purposely made it really bright so you can see how that one just stands right out. That's on purpose. It's more of a cartoon feel to it. I did that on purpose because, of course, we have our Webby character and different things that we are doing in here. And like I said, sometimes things take a little longer to load. See, the cashier's now there. And ceiling fan's already turning. And there's our Webby character. So it's more a matter of how big they are to how fast they load. So... okay, well, I want to really thank you for watching today and for checking this out. We got some pretty cool stuff coming. Next month or so is when I'm trying to get it as soon as possible. I'm hoping before the end of the month, but it may be next month sometime, we're going to release the 3D Store update, which should make it where we can take 3D stores and drop them into any scenes. You can create a 3D store in less than 5 minutes using one of the templates. You'll be able to pick your scene, pick your building, name a couple things, create a WalkTheWeb account if you don't already have one, and click a button and boom, you're up and running. So it's that easy to get started. That's where we're making it work. So just want to let you know we've got a lot of things in the works and we have a lot of other things on their way. Enjoy and thank you for watching. I really appreciate the time you've given me. And we'll keep adding some stuff to do. We're adding games, we're adding 3D stores, all in due time. If you want to help us on this project, jump in there and join us on Discord. You'll find the link below in the About section. You can click the link for About and you'll see a Discord link. That allows you to find us on Discord. And let's throw it in here too. Okay, there's the link for Discord invite, so you can join us on there. You can find me there anytime, even if you don't find me here. I work most days. Working most long days, and I'll be around. So thank you for watching. I really appreciate your time. And like I said, we keep building, we keep adding, we keep on creating new scenes, we keep on adding to the scenes. We're adding more and more animation. We're making everything available to you. So, oh, by the way, one last thing I do want to note about these streets. Okay, so you come to an end of a block, and let's say, hey, there isn't anything else in this direction or whatever. Do you know what? It is so easy. I created these segments in square sections of 500 by 500. So if I came to the end of the street right here and I go, okay, I need to add some more street to this, I can just say edit the community, add a new building, and it comes with these buildings already. So you'll already have this. And you just say add a 4-lane straight road, add, and the thing shows up here. We can rotate it the right direction, which is 0. And then also note everything is exactly 500 apart because I made them 500 by 500. So when you add them, one, and it's also at 0 level, which explains the gap. Okay, so 500, every 500 by 500, whatever, you can put another piece, and it could be an intersection, it could be a foundation for buildings, it could be the straight piece, whatever you want to design your own cities. We'll come out with some more road segments soon, and you can go ahead and take advantage of those too. But just want to let you know it's that easy. Save the building. Now you have an expanded street, and you've added to your city. It's that easy to add new pieces on here. So hope you enjoyed this. You can walk up the street and then add an intersection down there. Just as simple. Okay, so everybody, thank you for watching, and I appreciate everybody. Walk the web. Everybody, let's go walk the web. Have a great day, and take care.